Because Belichick, the people call me anti-white.
Uh-huh.
No one's more anti-white than Bill Belichick.
Really?
Yes.
That's a pretty big claim. Your proof?
He's had more white receivers than like the entire league combined.
What is he talking about? That's not true.
But like no team has had that. He had, I think it was 9 different wide receivers. He's doing it on purpose specifically so he can control and underpay his employees.
You have a single fact to back that up.
I'm having trouble creating an intro because I just want to spoil the entire thing right here, right now. This video is so stupid. If you don't believe me, just pause the video and read some of these comments, unless you can multitask. A lot of these people are his own fans. This video is an entire mess and all over the place.
I'm getting all over the place. You gotta let my undiagnosed autism just like wash over you as I talk about football.
He doesn't do almost any research, but he admits it, which probably makes it worse.
I didn't go full football nerd analysis on the research here.
He mispronounces everybody's name.
Jokic, right?
He contradicts himself a million times. He apparently doesn't know what 6 feet tall means. And probably worst of all, he's supposed to be proving how Bill Belichick is anti-white. Yet all I probably learned from this is that he himself is anti-white. At the very end of the video, where he's really supposed to prove to the courts that he's not full of it, he will make the most ridiculous claim that Belichick was out here. Not gonna spoil everything, you have to watch the damn video. Or you could just skip to the end. But anyways, let's begin, shall we?
Oh no, hell no, man. Y'all done up and done it.
For real though, like for real though, like for real. Fine then. I say.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Belichick is known for creating the Patriot Way, which is essentially a code of conduct that he used to set the tone and manage his team and like make sure that all his players were on one accord. And my assessment is that the Patriot Way was basically a totalitarian framework for governance on the team, aka it wasn't the Patriot Way, it was Bill Belichick's way. And to maintain this, Belichick would do some controversial and in many ways counterproductive things. One of the most notable elements of Bill Belichick's Patriot Way is that it caused him to never want any singular person on the team who was too big of a star, even if it meant getting rid of or avoiding the most talented players he had access to, especially when it was time to pay those players. Belichick seemingly felt like having really talented and well-paid players meant them having more power and autonomy to not submit to his authority, which is probably true. However, many other Super Bowl winning coaches during his time, like Pete Carroll or Mike Tomlin, are fine with those types of challenges and showed themselves more than capable and willing to manage big and well-paid personalities who were also talented so that they can contribute to the team. Belichick didn't want all that. He literally preferred a less talented team.
He's learning more. He's hearing it from upstairs. Could you see it?
This guy goes the entire video without mentioning that the NFL has a salary cap. So Belichick can't just reach into his pockets and pay these players whatever he wants to. And there were a lot of guys like Tom Brady, Gostowski, Gronkowski, Lawyer Malloy, and a few more that when they were on the Patriots, they were the highest paid player in the entire league for their position. And there's also a lot of guys like Roosevelt Colvin, Gerard Mayo, Devin McCourty, Randy Moss were like top 3 or top 5.
Straight cash, homie.
So this notion that Belichick doesn't want to pay anybody, I don't know what he's talking about. But let's be real here. Even if Belichick wants to save money, or he wants to acquire superstars via a discount, who cares? That's not illegal. That's not nefarious. That's just smart and strategic. Because throughout this video, if you already can't tell by now, he's really trying to bash Belichick like he was just some evil control freak.
Belichick was trying to do this everywhere on his team because he was a megalomaniacal control freak. He always wanted the type of player he could easily control.
100 yards for Reggie Wayne, and I give Reggie Wayne great credit.
When Reggie Wayne was on the Patriots for a couple weeks, he basically did a Danny Glover and realized he's too old for this stuff and requested a release so he could retire. But because Reggie Wayne left the team so abruptly, he didn't really earn his signing bonus. So the evil, money-hungry, racist Bill Belichick could have pursued Reggie Wayne for his signing bonus, but chose not to and let Reggie keep the money.
That's pretty interesting.
According to an article I found on the New England Sports Network, between 2000 and 2021, Bill Belichick made 82 draft day trades, with most of them being him trading back to get more picks. The next highest team for draft trades was only at 61. So this meant that he was less likely to take players who had the right to autonomy and being treated a certain way, and instead opted to take on more players in lower and middle rounds who might have less talent but would be more likely to be loyal and amenable to the Patriot way, which brings me back to that really interesting fetish he has for white flesh at the receiver position.
From upstairs, could you see it?
Belichick was a general manager for 23 years. He only drafted 3 white guys at wide receiver his entire tenure. That doesn't sound like an obsession to me. Jeremy Ebert, Julian Edelman, and Barrios is somewhat Puerto Rican. Go Hurricanes. When the Patriots cheated, Deflategate, Spygate, they were fined a lot of money and draft picks. So if Belichick is stockpiling picks for personnel depth, that's just football 101, especially when you could draft a guy like Gronk in the 2nd round, Asante Samuel in the 4th round, that one quarterback, I can't remember his name right now, in the 6th round, and Julian Edelman in the 7th round is yet again just smart and strategic. It kind of seems like you're complimenting Belichick more than anything, because according to your research, Belichick is usually going against the grain, yet he's still the most successful coach of his era. Sounds more like a genius than an anti-white guy, but of course this guy's gonna give Brady all of the credit because he was carrying bums to the finals.
Let's talk basketball, right? A sport I don't pay a lot of attention to, so I apologize if I'm wrong about this, but it seems like
Stay in your lane.
This part is too stupid, too casual, and honestly, too confusing. I don't even really understand his point here, so I'm just gonna skip it. But I definitely have to call him out for the butchering of names here. Jokic, Petrovic, and Joel Embiid. Who the hell is that? But now that I really think about it, he butchers a lot of NFL players' names too. So like Rum Nitty said, it's nothing new.
It's nothing new. It's nothing new.
It's Nikola Jokic, right? Players like Tony Kukoc and Dražen Petrovic. Jokic, Joel Embiid, right? Someone like Joel Embiid who...
Wow, you really are disgusting.
So when you think of an NFL receiver in the modern day, you're thinking DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, Marvin Harrison Jr., or years ago, back in the beginning of Belichick's reign, Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, Terrell Owens. Again, black, rare physical specimens. Like, here's a picture of Tom Brady standing next to Randy Moss, one of the greatest receivers who ever played, and here he is standing next to Danny Amendola. It looks like
The people call me anti-white.
This dude will literally mock and make fun of the white wide receivers that he's supposed to be defending from Belichick's anti-whiteness.
Sneaky, scrappy, oh, he's sneaky athletic, he's just a football player.
You know, those code words, those dog whistles for white wide receivers.
If that's not stupid enough for you, he also says that these white wide receivers are the worst players in the league. How the can Belichick underpay, according to you, the worst players in the league?
The greatest quarterback of all time was constantly underpaid while he was doing amazing shit with the worst players in the league.
He's obviously not talking about the defense, or the kickers, or the Randy Mosses and the Gronkowskis, right? But he's also not talking about Edelman, Wesker, or Welker, Amendola, and Tim Dwight, because he will single them out and give them props.
But I want to be clear. Players like Edelman and Amendola and Wesker were genuinely good receivers, especially in that design role. And Wesker. Here is a list of all the white wide receivers to play for Bill Belichick, just in case there's some people that don't realize how many there were. Because even as I was looking this up, some of these names, I was like, I don't even know who the fuck you are. But I know you played for the Patriots because you look like you played for the Patriots. Riley Webb, Gunnar Olszewski.
Tell us how to say it so that everybody gets it correctly.
Olszewski.
Gunnar Olszewski.
It's nothing new. It's nothing new.
Julian Edelman, Riley McCarron, Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola, Austin Collie, Greg Salas. Wes Welker, Tim Dwight, Kevin Casper. By my count, that's 11, and 11 may not seem like a lot of players over the course of 20 years, but I guarantee you the next highest number for any team during that span is probably no more than 5, if that. I didn't go full football nerd analysis on the research here.
Nigga, duh.
But I watched a lot of football in that era, and I know that back then, a white wide receiver was much more of a novelty than it is now.
I want the lies to end now.
Riley Webb.
That is not Riley Webb. That is Mac Jones, throwing the football like a quarterback because he's a quarterback. You know, if you would have just clicked on the article, you would have saw that the article was mainly about Mac Jones playing against the Bears. And in the photo, you could see the helmet of the Bears defender. You lazy. L-A-Z-Y, lazy.
You lazy. L-A-Z-Y, lazy. You lazy, you know that, right?
And I'm not just being petty for him mispronouncing Gunner's last name. It's the fact that he's calling him the worst player in the league, or kinda meh, and Austin Collie.
The rest of the names on that receiver list are kinda meh. Tim Dwight is maybe the only notable name on the list, but that's like 2002.
How the hell would you know how good or bad these guys are when you can't even pronounce one of their names and you don't even know how tall they are?
And all this is why Belichick was always dumpster diving for 5'9", 180-pound Austin Collie or Gunnar Olszewski.
These pure football guy wide receivers.
You egg-sucking piece of gutter trash.
Regarding the amount of white wide receivers on the Patriots and other teams, it is basically impossible to look that up. But it's also impossible to even understand his true argument here, because he named guys that never caught a pass for any team in the regular season their entire career. So if that means that in order to do my research, I have to somehow find every single white wide receiver that is just a practice squad guy, that would take forever, and it's basically impossible. But what I did recover in my research, remember, he's saying no other team had more than 5. So after I found 10 white wide receivers for the Colts and 12 white wide receivers for the Seahawks, I basically just stopped. Oh, and also he's missing 3 white wide receivers for the Patriots, like Jeremy Ebert, drafted by the Patriots, Eric Decker, Did you guys know he was on the Patriots? I did not know that. He did retire like Reggie Wayne right before the season started, but I mean, he was there wearing the uniform and everything.
Yeah, we got uniforms and everything. It's really great.
But also, my boy Dane Looker. I'm a Rams fan. Dane Looker caught Tom Brady's first career preseason touchdown. Like I said, it's too convoluted, it's too dumb. Like, come on, bro. Not everybody's as obsessed with race or ethnicity like you are. But that's FD Signalier, and that's basically what his channel is all about, right?
There's a lot more white wide receivers, and they're not all scrappy, sneaky, fast slot guys like in New England. You still do have your Lad McConkeys, but you also have Alec Pierce, who is a deep threat, Cooper Kupp, who is a big body possession guy.
Excuse me.
Cooper Kupp, who is a big body possession guy.
Bro, what?
And going forward, maybe guys like Isaac Tesla or Jack Besh. The OG, I'm white, but I'm not white like y'all wide receiver is sadly Jordy Nelson. Jordy did not fuck with that scrappy, sneaky athletic bullshit y'all be doing to these other white boys.
The people call me anti-white.
Jordy was a country boy from Kansas. He was 6'3", 220. And while Belichick had all these white guys playing in the slot, Nelson was on the outside mossing people and outrunning niggas like he was from South Florida. It was horrible to watch. But again, all of those names are from multiple teams, and most of them, regardless of their melanin deficiency,
The people call me anti-white.
Man, you corny!
do have unique physical traits that you will want from any high-end NFL wide receiver. Conversely, all those names I mentioned from the Patriots, I think Chris Hogan is the only one that's over 6 feet tall, and he was nothing special.
Enough from the clown!
I think Chris Hogan is the only one that's over 6 feet tall. I think Chris Hogan is the only one that's over 6 feet tall. I think Chris Hogan is the only one that's over 6 feet tall. And I think Chris Hogan is the only one that's over 6 feet tall. And
What are you babbling about?
Where do I even start? Cooper Kupp, the big body possession guy? That is insane. Like this guy said, there's no way you're trying to convince us that every white wide receiver back in the day was just a short guy in the slot.
there's a lot more white wide receivers, and they're not all scrappy, sneaky, fast slot guys like in New England.
Drew Bennett, 6'5", on the outside, once had a 3-game stretch where he put up 500 yards and 8 touchdowns.
And Drew Bennett, after 3 touchdowns last week and 3 touchdowns the week before, has 2 today in the first half.
I don't think I really need to explain Ed McCaffrey, 6'5" monster. And since you love Jordy Nelson so much, I do too, but he's not the OG. When you got a guy like Bill Schrader on the Packers, 6'3", burning guys like Champ Bailey. He ran a 4.26 40.
The OG, I'm white, but I'm not white like y'all wide receiver is sadly Jordy Nelson. Jordy was a country boy from Kansas. He was 6'3", 220. Nelson was on the outside mossing people and outrunning niggas like he was from South Florida. It was horrible to watch. Nelson was on the outside mossing people. Nelson was on the outside mossing people and outrunning niggas like he was from South Florida. It was horrible to watch.
Kevin Walter, 6'3", 220, just like Jordy. He may not have came close to Jordy's production or anything. I'm just saying, Kevin Walter was out there mossing people and outrunning ninjas like he was from South Florida too, running a 4.4 40.
Nelson was on the outside mossing people. Nelson was on the outside mossing people, outrunning niggas like he was from South Florida. It was horrible to watch.
The 30, the 20, the 10. The receiver with a lot of open room. Touchdown, Texans.
Curtis!
I love Alec Pierce, the white speedster, but way before him, I loved Kevin Curtis, the white speedster who was the #1 guy for the Eagles in 2007. 6'5" Joe You're Delicious, or Joe Juravicious, once caught 10 touchdowns in 1 year. Believe it or not, the black rare physical specimen. Andre Johnson never did that. Obviously, he was more than capable. I'm just trying to make a point. And we had a white rare physical specimen like Matt Jones, 6'6", running a 4.3 40. His career didn't really pan out, but still, he was in the league at a time way before Jordy Nelson. Can't forget Brian Finneran, #1 guy for Michael Vick in the early 2000s. And I'm strongly convinced, bro, if you don't know Austin Collie, you definitely don't know Kevin Casper, because you wouldn't be referring to everybody as sneaky, athletic. Kevin Casper was blatantly fast, ran like a 4.4 40.
You know, you talk about Kevin Casper and just how impressive he is physically in his 44-inch vertical jump, explosive speed.
And he was mainly a return specialist. That's usually where you put your most athletic guys with major jukums. So can you stop disrespecting the Welkers, Edelmans, Amendola, and Tim Dwight? They were all punt or kick returners. And Chris Hogan was nicknamed 7-11 for a reason. He was literally a deep threat at a time and led the league in average. And you're saying that all the Patriots receivers did was dink and dunk and you had to rely on Gronkowski and Randy Moss to go deep? I severely question if this guy even knows who Steve Largent is. This guy's really about to say, in order to succeed as a receiver back in the day, you had to be 6'2" and black like Michael Irvin, because the rule changes.
So whereas before, 25 years ago, you needed a 6'2", 210 Michael Irvin to fight through press coverage and absorb big hits and make tough catches over the middle, now you could get shifty, scrappy, pure football player, 5'9", 185-pound Wes Welker to barely get touched off the line and absorbed a decent form tackle to complete the exact same task.
Ridiculous. Yes, he's a ridiculous man.
Okay, guys, this is the 100th anniversary. I'm sitting here with some of the best receivers to ever play the game. We got Michael Irvin, Steve Smith, Steve Largent.
It's like his version of, instead of we done with the 90s, it's like he's done with the whiteys. Unless you're Jordy Nelson, and of course the big body Cooper Kupp. Steve Largent was 5'11", white, constantly on the outside, never wore gloves, and played in the 80s where you could still kill a receiver and not get penalized. And when he ended his career, he was #1 all-time most catches, yards, and touchdowns.
One of the greatest receivers to ever play in the National Football League. So consistent, and 100 touchdowns.
I keep forgetting Mike Furry, the white safety / wide receiver. One year he gets 4 interceptions and then goes to the sorry-ass Lions and gets over 1,000 yards, not always lined up in the slot.
25 years ago, you needed a 6'2", 210 Michael Irvin to fight through press coverage and absorb big hits and make tough catches over the middle. Now you could get shifty, scrappy, pure football player, 5'9", 185-pound Wes Welker.
All you do is talk about Randy Moss, but this guy, 83. Everybody remembers Wayne Corbett. Well, this is Wayne Corbett, has all the same characteristics.
Thank you, Phil Simms, but I guess not everybody remembers Wayne Corbett. Wayne Corbett played exactly
25 years ago
and was the king of taking big hits over the middle and basically anywhere on the field. And that's why us real NFL fans respect him and guys like Austin Collie, because they basically gave their life to the game.
The rest of the names on that receiver list are kind of meh.
You unbelievable bastard.
Austin Collie was kinda meh. Austin Collie wore a dark visor as a white wide receiver. You have to be nice rocking that. In all seriousness, Collie had 15 touchdowns his first 25 games in the league. Obviously, Peyton Manning helped, but I don't care. I don't care. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see how far his potential could go because he was always getting concussed.
So it's a combination of having Tom Brady and the rule changes that made it work, but it could have also worked with black players. In fact, many of the first slot receiver type guys that the Patriots had were black players. Terry Glenn, Deion Branch, Troy Brown. These were pretty much the same guys in terms of stature. They were much faster and more athletic, but they played the same role. But Belichick switched to white versions that were less athletic at a certain point when really having a guy like Terry Glenn or Troy Brown would probably have been much more valuable.
Calling Troy Brown a slot guy, I mean, that's not that bad, but he was definitely on the outside too.
Need a good wide receiver on the outside? Troy Brown's got you. Need a great guy in the slot who can make a clutch catch? There's Troy Brown.
But Deion Branch and Terry Glenn as just slot guys? No. Why would you think?
No. Why would you think?
They were in the slot. Sometimes, but predominantly they were definitely outside receivers. Unfortunately, it is kind of difficult to prove this because they did not track the percent of snaps of where these guys lined up back then. But luckily, I stumbled across this article. Long story short, they agree with me. I'm not explaining all the XYZ stuff. And then he said that Belichick is switching out all these black guys for white guys. But Deion Branch went back to the Patriots.
Yes, returned to the Patriots.
You better know exactly what you're doing when you go blitz Tom Brady, and that's a big reason why Deion Branch is back in New England.
And what the heck is Bill Belichick supposed to do about Troy Brown if Troy Brown retired a Patriot and he was there his entire career? Is Belichick supposed to try and stop him from retiring to fulfill some black receiver quota to appease you? And what does he mean by it could have worked with these guys?
What do you mean exactly? What do you mean exactly?
It most definitely did work with these guys. Troy Brown was there for the first 3 Supes, and Deion Branch got a couple. But more importantly, Deion Branch was the Super Bowl MVP. This guy has to know that, right? No? Maybe? I don't know.
Looking left, going Welker. Welker shakes free, and he's in for the touchdown.
And what is the big deal about a slot versus outside guy anyway? It's not like the defense is just going to leave you open. Oh, he's in the slot. Who cares? I've seen Wes Welker and Edelman catch a lot of passes and touchdowns lined up on the outside. And I understand that guys like AB and Tyreek Hill are small, but they're super elite black receivers. I don't see anybody putting them down for being in the slot. But hell, I've seen Randy Moss in the slot. You know, every blue moon, and it was very rare, but didn't Larry Fitzgerald move to the slot like predominantly later in his career? Did that hurt his legacy?
Because there wasn't a lot of pass rush pressure.
2nd and 9, and the pass is caught by Moss for a touchdown.
Just a matter of time. Here he is inside. Here he is inside. You see, he's the inside receiver. He just runs right through the zone.
Sneaky, scrappy, oh, he's sneaky athletic. He's just a football player.
You know, those code words, those dog whistles for white wide receivers.
Getting tired of your black ass.
Because these guys didn't fit that mold and didn't have high stock coming in, they would be less likely to feel entitled and more likely to submit to the authority of Belichick. And more importantly, much more willing to be underpaid for their very valuable labor. Now we're starting to get woke. Yeah, you made it this far. Just keep on, stay with me here, because this is where it gets deep.
And here comes the flag.
Wes Welker, or Wesker, literally left the Patriots because he felt entitled to more money.
You jackass!
In 2016, Julian Edelman had 98 catches for around 1,100 yards and 3 touchdowns, and that wasn't even his best year as a player. In that same year, a 33-year-old Larry Fitzgerald had stats within the same range, and he was on for him a cheap contract that paid him $11 million a year. Edelman's contract at that time, $4.5 million. For his 9-year career, all with one team, all with the Patriots, that he helped win 3 Super Bowls, Julian Edelman, one of the greatest receivers of his generation, a borderline Hall of Famer, made just under $5 million a year on average. In that same general time period, a receiver like Deshaun Jackson, a player with like very different skill set, right, but a similar value level to a given team, he made more than triple that on average per year, winning 0 Super Bowls and being so expendable to his teams that he played for 3 different teams in that time frame. And he's not alone. I can pull so many receivers of that time that were in the same category of a Welker or an Amendola or an Edelman, and they were getting paid much more for what they were doing.
Wes Welker is going to be franchised, and you know, there is a limit to the sympathy we have for somebody who's being paid among the top 5 players at his position. Just remember that.
What about the year where Wes Welker was franchise tagged by the Patriots? Instead of explaining what a franchise tag is, let's just see what kind of a tax bracket that put Wes Welker in. Well, what do you know? Even though it's only for 1 year, it puts him right above Deshaun Jackson.
Ironic, isn't it? That's not all.
Star receiver Julian Edelman and the Patriots have agreed to a 2-year contract extension, according to multiple sources. The deal up to $19 million in new money and will pay Edelman $12 million in guaranteed money. Edelman also will receive an $8 million signing bonus. The extension was first reported on Tuesday by the NFL Network. Edelman's 32, has 3 Super Bowl rings, and I guess he's well worth that money.
You're trying to compare Julian Edelman, the 7th round pick, where his rookie contract, he's lucky to even make $1 million a year. You're going to try and compare that to Larry Fitzgerald, the cover athlete of NCAA 05. So his rookie contract, he's making almost $9 million a year. And you're going to try and compare their career earnings on average when Fitzgerald has that kind of head start on him? And it's funny how you're mentioning that Edelman played his entire career in New England. I thought Belichick gets rid of everybody to save money. Yet, the more Edelman proved himself and showed consistency, the more Belichick paid him.
And because they were desperate and they knew that specifically their particular physiology and presentation meant that they would be underestimated, he could come in and use that against them to underpay and mistreat them. And if you've ever heard Julian Edelman and Wes Welker talk about their time with the Patriots, there's some bitterness there. It just is.
Here comes the throw.
There's some bitterness there. It just is.
You got one problem though, Jake. You got no witnesses. Who your fucking witnesses, huh? It's what you can prove.
And that right there is the perfect microcosm for the absolute abhorrent absurdity of this abomination. Bro, you're supposed to prove that. You can't just trust me, bro, at one of your biggest points at basically the penultimate moment of your video. No articles, no audio, no video, nothing. Just take his word for it, the guy that's lied like 11 times in this video.
For the best year of my life. You know what? You guys went out there and won it. That's a player's game. I'd do anything for you, bro. I'd do anything for you. That's it. Get the fuck off the field. Is it over? Yeah. They gotta review it. They review it. Isn't it? Yeah. Come on.
Big meditator, Coach Belichick.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We do a lot of that.
Yeah, you do a lot of that.
I can't figure you out, Edelman. I'm not that smart, so just show me that you know what to do.
And that's what he said. That was our first interaction. It was love at first sight.
And all of this only worked because Belichick had Patrick Bateman playing quarterback for him, who, by the way, Brady also took pay cuts throughout his career. The greatest quarterback of all time was constantly underpaid while he was doing amazing shit with the worst players in the league.
To Coach Belichick, it wasn't me, it wasn't you, it was us. Let me make this crystal clear. There is no coach in the world I would rather play for than Bill Belichick.
It's like this dude really believes that he has this great smoking gun evidence against Belichick, when in reality, he's just bringing up the most normal activities constantly done in the NFL and the NBA, because they both have a salary cap. Really? Pay cuts? Didn't Jalen Brunson and Wemby recently take pay cuts? Tim Duncan constantly took pay cuts. According to this article, Dirk Nowitzki left approximately $200 million? Just surface level thinking, stating the captain obvious, Brady does not have to accept any deal he does not want. Plus, Brady also took pay cuts with the Buccaneers.
But really, this contract is all about bookkeeping. If you look at the Bucs, they put voidable years on the end of that deal, which means they can spread out any bonus money and make it easier to deal with in terms of the cap. And remember, they still have some guys they want to re-sign. I mean, Rob Gronkowski being one of them, Antonio Brown probably another, and then the biggest of all, Shaq Barrett. So I think this is more of a bookkeeping measure by the Bucs.
In order to keep the band together, you got to take pay cuts, man. The Heatles did the same thing in 2010 to form the Big Three. And just because you disrespect the Buccaneers players acting like they're all trash or something.
And he went and won another Super Bowl with a whole other random set of players.
Now you're being downright offensive.
You mean a random set of super talented players? Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield, Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, and Leonard Fournette. They were also all new to the team like Brady. But back to the contracts. If you compare Brady's last deal with the Bucs to his last deal with the Patriots contract is considerably higher. So how are you going to blame Belichick for that one, huh? And last thing, because I cannot let this go, Belichick doesn't want to re-sign guys so he could save money.
So over the course of his career, Belichick was known for letting go of or not re-signing some of his best players. Guys like Willie McGinnis and Ty Law were legendary players on the Patriots in their early days and were released maybe a year or two early to save money.
He brings up all that stuff about Jordy Nelson, but he never mentions how Nelson's career ended, where he literally got released to save money, to bring in Jimmy Graham. Go Hurricanes.
Bringing Jimmy Graham aboard forced the Packers to part ways with Jordy Nelson?
It was. This really was just about clearing salary cap space. There's
literally hundreds of more examples, but let's just get to the last stupid thing that he says in here. Oh, I can't forget, if I'm gonna be a part of a video about white wide receivers, I have to shout out Adam Thielen, Hunter Renfree, Cole Beasley, Danny Farmer, Chris Walsh, Brian Hartline, I think that's his name, Ricky Prohl, Stokely, basically every white wide receiver except Riley Cooper.
With the worst players in the league. Brady was literally taking pay cuts with the idea that Belichick would help build a better team for him. And when he realized that Belichick was basically using that money to go take 21-year-olds out on dates, whatever the fuck weird shit was going on, he left.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Am I kidding me or what?
And when he realized that Belichick was basically using that money to go take 21-year-olds out on dates, whatever the fuck weird shit was going on.
Yes, there's a word for that other stuff. It's called embezzlement.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Racist, anti-white, and now Belichick was out here embezzling Patriot funds. I hope Bill Belichick sees this video and sues you for defamation. I just find it quite pathetic that you could just grab a camera, microphone, and make dumbass videos like this and possibly get paid a lot of money. Like, seriously, what's wrong with you? You made it. You don't have to make a ridiculous video like this unless all you really care about is making as much money as you can regardless of how you get it.
Punk. Want me to go on? Can you take one more?
And Belichick recognized that the system created a value opportunity for his team to get those marginally athletic white receivers who had a few useful skills, but not enough to make them as valuable to most other teams. It's because Belichick created a structure of exploitation on his teams that happened to make the white skill players more valuable than they would have been anywhere else in the league. And this is what people usually miss about racism and why structural analysis is important.
Shut the fuck up, man. Why is he acting like the Patriots just hoarded all of the white skill players back then and they couldn't succeed or get paid anywhere else? Is this dude really trying to convince me my own memory is lying to me? I used to purchase Danny Woodhead on FanDuel all the time because we all knew he was going to get like 36 targets a game. Obvious exaggeration. But what is not an exaggeration is the fact that Danny Woodhead's numbers were basically double on the Chargers compared to the Patriots. Rex Burkhead, similar or better numbers on other teams. Similar contracts. Chris Hogan, similar numbers on the Buffalo Bills. But the fact that he led the league in average, that's pretty cool. Nobody thinks of Austin Collie being a Patriot because 99% of his career stats were in Indianapolis. You mean to tell me he seriously doesn't know that? When he says that Belichick did controversial stuff, well, he did, it's just this guy didn't name any. Like when he found the worst timing to cut Lawyer Malloy.
There ain't nobody tell us it was fair.
I understand it now.
But the plan is to show you that I understand.
Benching Malcolm Butler in the soup. Very controversial.
You all appreciate it.
But I'm not here to take sides or whatever. I'm just here to tell the damn truth. The unconventional side of the Patriots is definitely credited to the ingenious side of Bill Belichick, but there was also the other side where he was an a-hole. He's extremely strict. But you could say the same for Super Bowl winning coaches like Tom Coughlin, who ran his team like a damn military base.
Basically treated you like you were a child. His rule is if it says meetings at 3, be there at 2:55. I don't get it. If the meeting's at 2:55, say 2:55.
Your meeting's at 7, so you come in about 10 up.
I show up at 8:27 for an 8:30 meeting. The next day I had a letter on my stool saying that I was fined $500.
Tom Coughlin. He came in here and was like, this is what it is. This is what it's going to be.
Everything he's saying is right.
Bro, he was fighting people 2 bands for not making weight.
Rookie year on the Giants with TC. Odell coming out there dancing, black socks. Take them socks off. I'm like, dang. TC once cussed me out for pulling my hamstring. TC once cussed me out for pulling my hamstring.
Bill Parcells, the big tuna, was a damn wild animal. He was verbally and physically abusive sometimes.
Well, I threw a garbage can over them, some of them, with a bunch of stuff in it, and told them that's where they belong with the rest of this crap, because that's what they were playing like. He come up to New England with me, and he fumbles the opening kickoff against Jacksonville, and I just hit him as hard as I can hit him right there on the shoulder pad. I just whack him.
And by the way, I just found this out that Bill Belichick moved up in the draft by trading picks with the Jaguars that resulted in Julian Edelman and Gronkowski. He may not have moved up in the draft specifically for them, but it did result in those picks. So you gotta give him props for some of the ingenious things he's done. But yeah, the Patriots did cheat.
So it was rigged by the Patriots? Looks like it.
But there are positives and negatives about any great player, coach, dynasty, team, whatever. Like the dink and dunk, boring Patriots. Who cares? It worked.
It worked.
This is how I see the Patriots dynasty. There are two major pillars that stand out to me. Number one, versatility. You got a guy like Albert Wesker out here kicking extra points. James White, the running back, ended his career with more receiving stats than rushing stats. Catches, yards, and receiving touchdowns. And you could almost say the same for Kevin Falk and Danny Woodhead. They both ended their careers with more receiving yards than rushing yards.
How about that? Gets his shoulders square. Young tries to put the juke on him. Puts a double move on him. And look at Edelman. Stayed square, didn't commit, drove through a leg.
Julian Edelman was a damn quarterback at Kentucky State. That's hilarious. Julian Edelman thought Kent State was short for Kentucky State.
And Julian Edelman, JUCO transfer, take the field for Kent State.
I thought it was Kentucky State.
And Troy Brown was doing it first as a black, pure football guy. He picked off Drew Bledsoe. And then you got a guy like Mike Vrabel getting big defensive stops and then going on the other side catching goal line touchdowns. My second major pillar is sacrifice. This is just my opinion. If you guys disagree, let me know. But if Brady was the number one paid quarterback in the league, do you really believe that his defense would still be ranked for his entire 19 years? The defense was ranked number one in points allowed. This is while the Buccaneers, Eagles, Ravens defense are hovering around, and the Patriots managed to still allow the least points for those 19 years. Hell, the Legion of Boom were around. There's no way that Belichick can pay everybody top dollar. And that's where I come back to sacrifice. I know it sounds crazy, but Belichick had to sacrifice somebody, even if it was his defensive captain, Lawyer Malloy, or a Ty Law. Why the hell would Belichick purposely want to get rid of his best players? They're making him look good. Losing a big guy like Malloy and Ty Law, who still went on to have great careers. Ty Law got 10 interceptions the next year. But did it stop the Patriots from winning? I'm just saying. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Brady. But if he did not make the sacrifice and he was the highest paid quarterback in the league, do you guys really think he would have as many Super Bowl appearances or W's with the Patriots as much as he did? Unfortunately, in the NFL business, yeah, you might get lucky and get paid a lot, but usually you're going to get met with two decisions: either take a pay cut or get cut. Unfortunately,
That's just the way it is.
That's just how it is in the not for long, no fun league. But all right, this video has taken way too long. I severely appreciate anybody that actually made it all the way to the ending. You will never truly understand how much I appreciate you.
Well, appreciate it.
But all right, I'm out. Or like they used to randomly say in the old Maddens, okay, bye.
And Coach Belichick, I couldn't say thank you enough for the opportunities that you've given me. I would not be here where I'm at if it weren't for you. You taught me so much about the game, and I've never learned so much about football and enjoyed it in the process. So thank you very much, Coach.
With that lower body, it's unbelievable. Look at the body. Look at that bubble butt.